location here, you've got an open patch of ground you can really do something with. And it's a public piece of ground. Again, you get approvals there, and you've got your good monument location there.
And we've been doing
And if by any freak chance they decide to clear that ground up and make a lookout point there, you'd be with it.
Now, this location here, from here all the way up, this was called the Bluff. This went out all the way up to Water's Edge, where the thruway and the railroad and the thruway is. That is all man-made. That was made in mid-1950s. 1940s, they dug out part of the trench for the railroad, and so this bluff went all the way to the river. So we were at a much higher commanding height, and which they hit the commanding view, especially for the artillery. So people often forget that's modern. All these fortifications are up high.
Showing the original, and then you show the infill, it will give them that perspective without having to actually be there. And I mean, if there's any way, a little walkway. I mean, you've got what is this, a lane?
Would the Homeland Security have a problem with that?
No. If you can actually get clearance, strip of clearance to walk down the side, and actually have a little platform at the end where you could look over the river from there.
Over the thruway.
So what? You're looking over the river, but you're still looking across the river. And you can say, right now, this is where you would be at the river's edge.
This is the largest of all the fortifications, the store batteries, the Fort Tompkins. Down the next several, you're going to be able to do that. Here, probably won't, because this is all private land.
Unless the city buys it.
Well, or maybe if you get the landowner to give clearance, just an access strip. This is all you need.
For a certain amount of money.
Well, on the other hand, there's sponsorship.
Sponsorship,
And one of the American gun teams basically got pissed off at this and said, the British are building a new battery. We're not going to let you do that. We're not allowed to fire. So what? Get a gun. Get a ball. So they got the ball, slid it down the barrel, because see, they were allowed to fire practice shots, blank ones. Boom. The shot hits just short of the British battery. Dirt, dust, everything. The British are running around. And basically, so everybody is killing themselves laughing. Because the British are actually coming in dirt and dust. They'd be dressed like this. This is exactly how the British would have been dressed in order to build their batteries. So they're covered in the dirt. But this is the payback time. Because now that the Americans have actually started the firing, the British come back. American officer comes down, who fired that shot? I don't know, it's not me. And the American officer doesn't really push it. But the British start pounding the hell out of the position. Now, the gun battery is fine because it's earthwork with a wooden wall and the guns are behind it. So any shot that hits down here is just hitting the earth and bounce, ricochet. Any shot that goes over, what does it hit? The wooden buildings that are right behind. And they said by night time, there wasn't a single building left standing over here. They'd been completely demolished by the British shot that was fired during the course of that day. That was the start of the war on the Niagara. A bunch of soldiers who did not obey their officers and fired off a surreptitious shot and got a lot more in return. And I think that sort of encapsulates the whole bloody war, doesn't it?
For the Americans, surreptitious.